What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Barbells and Bangers. Got another solo episode for you today. Last couple episodes I had guests. I had Sam Primo back on. That was super fun. We talked about all kinds of stuff. We talked about, being content creators, doing podcasts. We talked about dating. We talked about just life. So that was fun. It was a good conversation. It's good to kind of switch it up and talk about more real life stuff, and that's kind of what I want to talk about today a little bit. Just talk about a little bit of everything. But I really like doing these solo episodes. I mean, I've said this before. This is kind of like my diary, I guess. In a way, it kind of feels like it. But, yeah. So, and then the last episode I did, I had Corey Cuppy on. He's a professional MMA fighter. He's about to fight in PFL in a week and a half. So that was really exciting. Yeah, lots of cool stuff happening. It seems like my MMA podcast is really starting to grow. All of a sudden. It just kind of, and I think it's because I promote it on Instagram, the clips and stuff. So, yeah, I don't know. Hold on, I need to turn my notifications off. Okay, I don't know. Guys, I'm so bad with computers. It's concerning at this point. The amount of time I spend on a computer, you'd think I'd be good at it. You would think. Nope, still terrible. By the way, I'm going to be drinking this non-alcoholic beer throughout this episode. These are my friends at Wellbeing Brewing. It is a local non-alcoholic brewing company here in St. Louis. They put a pause on their affiliate program right now, so I don't know if my code still even works. So whatever, don't worry about it. But I'm still gonna plug them anyways because I'm big fans, big supporters of them. So I don't need money. If I like a product, I will talk about it and I will promote it. That's how I roll, baby. Now, if you want to pay me money to promote your product, well, let me know. I will do that too. But only if I like it, though. I have to like it. That's the only criteria I have. Anyways, or if you send me free stuff like Chef Full of Love, Jason Full of Love, he sent me a bunch of hot sauce. So I'm like, hell yeah. And, I try to promote it, whenever I get a chance because it is actually a really great product, by the way. If you like hot sauce, Tumi Coco hot sauce. It's fire. But anyways, yeah, so I like to help promote people and products and things, and I don't necessarily need to gain from it monetarily because I think that's one thing, too, that I've learned over time is, when you help people, there's a quote from Zig Ziglar, if you help enough people get what they want, then you'll get what you want. And I think that's really true. I think if you just help people and people that you really believe in, people that align with your vision and your values and your beliefs. I think when you align with people like that and help them, I think it only helps you. It might not help you right away. You might not see instant gratification, but I think that in general, that's just how life works, whatever. That's at least my philosophy. Yeah, so did a couple guest episodes, my MMA podcast. I'm trying to think of where I left off there because I go on a lot of tangents, guys. It's also 9:30 p.m., which I always say, I'm done doing these late night episodes, but I feel like this is like a late night talk show almost. That's kind of the vibe. So the solo episodes, I think I'm going to keep doing them at night. I don't know. I feel like it'd be weird if I did it during the day. I do my MMA podcast during the day. That makes sense. because it's like it's sports and it's a more serious podcast. This one's a little bit more chill, a little bit more fun. Not that MMA isn't fun, but it's just in a different way. This is kind of just like getting to know me, getting to know my guests. That's kind of what this is, which is fun. That's why I like doing it. But yeah, my MMA podcast is starting to really get some traction, and that's really exciting. And I started doing a Contender Series post show. So if you know about Dana White's Contender Series, it's basically where a bunch of fighters go and, it's kind of like the Ultimate Fighter, except the fights actually do count on their professional record. And there's no like drama like the Ultimate Fighter. Like it's just focused on the fights. So they're finding these guys that either, I don't think most of them have been in the UFC. Or maybe, I'm trying to think if there have been any Contender Series people that were in the UFC before they went on Contender Series. I don't know. Not many. So most of these people, like, this is going to be their UFC debut if they get a contract. So they're basically competing to get a UFC contract, which is a big deal. So, yeah, I'm doing the post show for that for Fight Bananas. And basically what I do is just after the Contender Series is over, I hop on a live stream on their YouTube channel and I break down the fights and talk about, what happened, give my takes on things. So that's kind of how it works. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of, work to do all the MMA stuff, like I'm doing my MMA podcast. I'm doing, interviewing MMA fighters, and I'm just learning. I'm trying to learn more about the sport too at the same time. Like I'm really researching a lot more than I used to. Like I can't believe I used to just rely on my memory doing the MMA podcast. Like my first couple MMA podcasts, I didn't even take notes. And I'm like, what am I doing? That is wild. Yeah, I can't even imagine. Now I have like 5 pages of notes for every episode. Like I really pay attention to stuff now. And like, not that I wasn't paying attention before, but I was just like watching it, like watching it like anybody else watches UFC. But now I'm watching it to like pay attention and make sure I don't miss anything. Like I don't even want to miss like 10 seconds of a fight. Now I did make dinner during the AJ Dobson versus Tafon Nuchukwi fight, because I felt like if there was any opportunity on that card this weekend to make dinner and maybe not pay close attention, it was that fight. So it was it wasn't a bad fight, but it just wasn't the most exciting. After all the first round finishes on the prelims, I was like, you guys expect me to sit here and watch this? Really? Okay. I just saw somebody pull off an actual twister submission, and now you want me to watch this? I'm like, what the heck? It's funny. It's kind of like, well, it wasn't as bad of a fight as this was, but Adesanya versus Romero, that was like one of the worst fights I've ever seen. It was so bad. It was just so boring. Like nothing happened. But I think the reason why it seemed so much worse was because Wiley versus Joanna, one of the best fights of all time, definitely the best female fight of all time, that was on before. It was the co-main event. So it just made it seem like so much worse after watching that. So anyways, yeah, so I'm really enjoying doing the MMA stuff. It's just been really fun. I'm really excited to learn more about the sport. That's really my goal. And I was talking about this with Sam Primo when we did our episode, because he kind of asked me like what my goals are and everything. By the way, I'm wearing, a while ago I made this Brie Fit merch. Like not like I was gonna like do much with it right away, but I just wanted to like have some merch. I don't know, I was just bored. But and I like the idea of designing my own clothes. It's really fun. And I've always wanted to have a clothing company. So I don't know, maybe one day I'll put the store back up. But if you guys like this kind of stuff, I don't know. I'm probably not going to do it anytime soon, but like maybe like later this year or next year, I'll like do some merch or do a little like some t-shirts, or like, doesn't even have to be merch, just like making like clothes that are like either MMA related or fitness related. I don't know. We could have fun with it. I don't know. I'm just bored right now. I'm like, I always have these ideas, and like this is an example of like an idea that I like thought was really cool, and then like I realized that I would have to like run this Shopify store. I'm like, oh, I don't know how to do all this stuff, and it really wasn't that hard to set it up, but I just like didn't understand how a lot of it worked, and I was like, I don't know. I'm just gonna do this another time. So then I just like shut down my Shopify store because I was like, I don't know how to do this stuff. So I was like, maybe I should just like learn more about it, and then I'll do it again and learn more about like making apparel. Which actually, Sam Primo, he was talking about that because he has his own clothing company, Inner Animal, and his brand is actually really cool. So I guess that kind of inspired me to like break out my merch again and just like see the ridiculous stuff that I created. It just says Burberry Fit on here. It's really nothing fancy, but I really wanted like a cropped black hoodie. So I was like, I'll just make my own, whatever. I don't know. I'm a creative person, so I like to do stuff like that. But yeah, what was I going to talk about today? What the heck? I've been so busy, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm apologizing for that. You guys know how busy I am if you follow me on social media, or if you actually know me in person, which most of you don't, so you don't know how freaking hard I work, dude. I work my booty off. Let's see. Well, another thing, speaking of that, I've been so busy. My training has been horrible, guys. My training has been suffering. So don't worry, it's only temporary. I've been doing 2 days a week, sometimes 3, but usually 2. This week I took off because I had way too much on my schedule. I like literally couldn't do it. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take a recovery week. I usually take one every 8 weeks or so anyways. So it was probably about time for me to take one. But still, I was just like, oh, I really don't want to take a week off. I really want to stay active. But I think getting that extra rest will probably benefit me just because of how overloaded my schedule has been. And I was sick. So anytime I'm sick, I really don't like to work out. Yeah, I just don't think it's a good idea. But I mean, I've done it before, and it's not always a bad idea, but I think for the most part, it's better to like, be cautious when you're sick. So yeah, so I took a week off, whatever. Not a big deal, not anything to beat yourself up over. Now if I take another week off, then you guys please put me in my place, because taking 2 weeks off, no, we don't do that around here unless you're injured or you're sick or something like that. But yeah, for the most part, no. So yeah, I've just been doing like 2-3 days a week, and then this week I took off. So I'm going to start back up with, 2 days a week, upper and lower. I'm just going to keep it simple for a little while because I'm adjusting. I mean, I'm really busy, like with not even just with work, because like obviously 8 to 5 Monday through Friday I'm at work, and I can't do anything related to this while I'm at work, otherwise I will get yelled at. So that's just what they told me. So yeah, so I can't work on this while I'm at work, which I really didn't do anyways, except for like on my lunch breaks. But yeah, so 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, I can't work on any of this. So that's a pretty big chunk of my schedule. And then I have to sleep, guys. I have to sleep. It's pretty important to sleep. And then it takes me 35 minutes to get to my work. So that's a little over an hour a day, Monday through Friday. So that's a lot of time that I am not getting, which is fine. I don't mind working hard. I really don't. I don't mind working long hours. It doesn't bother me at all. I love it, actually. This is kind of the environment that I thrive in, being really busy like this. It forces me to become really efficient. And I think that's an important skill to learn. So I'm actually, I'm looking at this as a good thing, because it just means that once I get to the point where, you know, whatever, if MMA journalism and that kind of thing becomes my career, then I'll be at the point where I can just absolutely crush it, because I'll be so efficient. I'll be able to outwork everybody. And that's really the way to win in life, is to be able to outwork everybody that's doing what you're doing. So, yeah, but it does kind of feel like I have 2 full-time jobs at this point. Like when I just had this podcast and I was doing, you know, YouTube videos and stuff like that, it really, yeah, it took up my time, but like I could still work, and like I could still, do other stuff. Like it wasn't a big deal. And I wasn't as serious about it then either. So like I was uploading every single week, but you know, I wasn't like worried about the views, or I wasn't worried about, really anything. I was just kind of more trying to figure out how to do YouTube. Like I wasn't really concerned about it going viral or like anything like that. Like I just wanted to learn how to edit and learn how to like create content. So I don't know. I feel like when I first started my YouTube channel, it was kind of like a trial for me to just to like see if I could do it and see if it was something that I even wanted to do, like podcasts and all that stuff. So if you look at my early content, it's like you'd be like, what is this? Like it's so different than what I do now. So different. Also, I feel like you just get more comfortable over time. Like I've gotten so much more comfortable talking on here and like talking with you guys and being open about things. Like it used to be really hard for me to be open about things on here, because I'm like, oh, you know, I don't want people to judge me or think this about me or whatever. If somebody disagrees with me, I was so afraid of like people disagreeing with me. But now, yeah, I don't care anymore. I don't mean that in like, you know, a cocky way. I just mean that in like, I just want to be myself. So if you don't like it, that's okay. I'm not for everyone, but I just want to be myself. That's really all I want in life in general, is just to be myself. And I'm tired of apologizing for it, honestly. Yeah, I just want to be me, dude. I just want to freaking be me. Come on. So anyways, yeah, so I'm not training very much, but I am going to get back into it. I'm going to do at least 2 days a week, probably 3, but I'll probably just try to stick to 2 minimum, and make sure I can be consistent with that. And because I'm also going to start training MMA again soon. Well, I'm going to start with boxing like I did the last time. See, the last time I had a whole plan of what I was going to do, and then I opened the agency, and I opened an insurance agency, and then it just took up all of my time. All of it gone. My time, I didn't have time anymore. I woke up and I was working, and then I went to bed, and that's it. Like it consumed my mental energy, my everything. And then I still felt like I wasn't doing enough. So yeah. So that experience, and that's why I wanted to get out of that, because I wanted to be able to build something of my own. That's really what I wanted. It wasn't because I was working too much. It was just the kind of work that I was doing too much. The work wasn't fulfilling for me, and I need that. And if I don't have it in my full-time job, then I at least need to have something that I'm doing in addition to that is fulfilling me in that way. So, yeah, so I want to feel fulfilled. I want to do what I'm passionate about and do what I love, because the thing is like people think it's a little crazy, like how much time I spend doing the MMA stuff now, and it has become like a lot more time consuming than it was a month ago or even a couple weeks ago. It's definitely like I've definitely leveled it up, and I'm definitely taking it seriously now. And I was taking it seriously before, but I just didn't know that it was possible. I mean, I knew it was possible, but I didn't think it was possible for me to make a career out of what I'm doing. But, you know, I've realized that it is, and I don't know how long it's going to take, and I'm not really worried. I'm kind of just enjoying the journey right now, honestly, and learning and growing, just getting better. And so that way, when it does happen, I'm going to be so ready. Like, I want to just be so ready. And I know I'm probably never going to be really ready for any opportunity that comes my way. Like, I wasn't ready to open an insurance agency. I wasn't ready to do a lot of things. But I think, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm trying to say here. I want to be ahead of the game. So when I get to the point where I can do this full time, I think, well, I already am doing it full time. I'll just say that. The amount of time that I spend on it, like, guys, you have no idea. I mean, think about it. Every week there's at least 6 to 10 hours of fights to watch. So, and that doesn't even include all the research that I do. And then the research I do for, like, my interviews too. Like, I do a lot of research, and I do a lot of, like, just mental planning for these things. Not necessarily this podcast as much, unless it's a guest episode. Then I do like to research and be prepared. These solo episodes, I just kind of go off the cuff. But yeah, so I don't know. I think that just being ahead of the game is really important to me. And that's how I've been able to achieve things in life. It's just like by diving in and really just absorbing as much knowledge as you can. And getting the reps in too, getting the reps in. That's really important. That's why I started my MMA podcast. Like, I wasn't worried about making money off of it or getting famous off of that. I'm like, dude, I just want to get good at this. And the only way I'm going to get good at this is if I do it in front of the world, like if I know that this episode could potentially reach millions of people, then yeah, I'm going to have my A game on a little bit more than if I thought it was going to, be 10 people. So, so yeah, just getting the reps in and getting better and better every time. That's what I've been trying to do. So you might not see the work I'm putting in when you watch my podcast or whatever, but yeah, I'm putting in a lot of work. Trust me, guys. Because I want to, do that as my career potentially. So, and not like necessarily right now. Like, I'm okay with working, full time, doing something else, because I'm doing sales. So it kind of does tie into this, like, it's communicating, I'm talking on the phone all day long. So I think that while it doesn't really align necessarily with my career goals long term, I think short term it's a good thing for me. Or maybe it is going to be a long term thing. I don't know. I mean, I definitely can see myself doing it for the next like year or two, for sure. So, because I think it's gonna, I don't know how long it's gonna take to get to the point where I can do MMA, journalism, commentary, whatever you want to call it, till I can do that full time. I don't know. I really have no idea, but I don't care. It's fine. I just want to, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it could take 5 years, could take 10 years. Doesn't matter. I'm still just gonna like keep doing what I'm doing and just be patient, because I think that's the best thing to do. And I think sometimes the problem is not really, like, as a creative person, and if you're a creative person, you'll probably be able to relate to this. You will. So let's say I'm a musician, and let's say I'm spending, every Saturday night I'm performing. Maybe I'm performing Friday nights too. I'm writing music during the week. I'm writing music on Sundays, whatever. And I'm in the studio, I'm recording, doing all this stuff. So I'm spending a lot of time recording music. And then there's people around you. Maybe they're not creatives. Maybe they're not musicians. Maybe they don't quite get it. They don't think the same way you do. And they're like, oh, are you famous yet? Like, are you getting paid to do this? Are you making this kind of money? It's like, oh, well, then maybe you should stop doing it. It's like, dude, do you know how long it takes sometimes to like really get successful at something? And the thing is, you don't know. There's no guarantee that you're gonna make it. But even if you don't make it, I think sometimes people forget that like you can still do something as a career and make money from it and not necessarily make it. Like you can still do it. You're not gonna make a killing, but you might make enough to, live off of. I don't know. People just don't understand creatives, I feel like, a lot of times. And I think that makes dating really hard as a creative too. I'll be honest. Dating as a creative person is pretty not fun. Yeah, it's just because people don't understand like how my brain works. Like, I don't know. I don't want to spill any tea. And I don't want to sound like I'm like complaining or anything. But yeah, I was talking about this on the episode with Sam Primo. So I started seeing someone. Really nice guy. Great guy. Not really any complaints necessarily. But I just think that some people think they want to be in a relationship with me, but actually deep down don't. Or maybe they want to be in a relationship with me, but they want me to change a lot of things about how I operate and who I am. And I don't know, dude. I don't know. This has happened before where it's like, you know, it seems great. And then it's like, oh, wow. Like people are surprised at like how much energy I have, I guess. Cause like I have lupus. So like I stay home a lot and I don't really like to go out and do things. Especially now I haven't drank alcohol in almost 11 months. So yeah. So I'm a little bit different, you know. It would seem like I would be low energy, which I kind of am sometimes when I'm in like large social situations. I kind of get a little low energy, or I get really high energy. I don't know. It just kind of depends on my mood. But you would think, yeah. So it's like the real me, like if you're around me, like if you followed me around for a week, you'd realize like, yeah, my brain, it just goes and goes and goes and goes. It's kind of just how I am. And I'm very talkative. I talk a lot. I have 2 podcasts. So it's just like I don't understand why guys like want to date me, but then when they hang out with me and they're like, "Oh my God." And I'm like, "Hi, I'm talking to you." And you're like, "Not, there's no conversation happening here. It's just me talking to you." And you're just like not contributing anything to the conversation. So and like I can tell that like some guys just got like really annoyed with me. I don't know. I'm not an annoying person. It's just like some people I feel like I don't know what they expect from me. It's like, yeah, I'm talkative. Do you not I literally have a podcast. I'm like super ADHD, and I'm not one of those people that's like says they have ADHD that's never actually been to a doctor. Like I've had multiple doctors diagnose me with ADHD. Okay. The first one was when I was like 16. So yeah. Yeah, so I'm super ADHD and I don't take medication for it anymore. When I took, see, this is why I'm like a different person now. I am like almost a different person from when I was on ADHD medication to when I was off of it. And I realized that my ADHD is not necessarily a bad thing as long as I'm in the right career, the right relationship, the right everything. So I think that if I was back on my ADHD medication, then it would be easier for me to have relationships with these type of people. Now that I kind of think about it, I don't know, because I feel like people with ADHD just kind of love a little bit differently, you know, just a little bit differently. And also just my level of discipline, my work ethic, my goals, my ambition, my drive, all of that has definitely grown a lot over time, especially in the last year. Yeah, I mean, I went through a whole career transition, so that was kind of, you know, I was kind of a little bit more chilled out then because I just kind of needed a little rest after, running the insurance agency for a while. I mean, that took a lot out of me. So, I kind of took it easy for a while. But at the same time, that's when I was developing my skills with like creating my podcast and doing all that stuff. That's why I was planning all that stuff. I wasn't necessarily ready to start doing it at that time, when I was still at the agency and I was still, but I was planning it, I was creating like my ideas and writing things down and, figuring out what equipment I needed, all that kind of stuff. So I was planning on doing this and I wasn't planning on leaving insurance when I started doing this, but then I realized like I kind of had to, like I had to make a decision there of what I wanted my life to look like, and I decided that I didn't want it to look like that anymore. And so here we are. But I knew I would probably get back into sales. I knew I wanted to do something like sales oriented. I just didn't want to do insurance anymore. Yeah, I don't know. And there's some crazy stuff going on in insurance right now. There's some crazy stuff. Yeah, if you want to watch something entertaining, if you're a life insurance agent or you've done life insurance before, go on YouTube and watch Always Marco. He did a video exposing Primerica. It was pretty interesting. So, yeah, that was funny. Anyways, so yeah, that's fun. But yeah, like the problem with me, yeah, part of it is my ADHD, but also I'm just a creative person and I'm also really ambitious. I have a lot of really big goals. Like I'm not your typical person, I guess. I don't know. I mean, that's not necessarily even a good thing. It's just it is what it is. I don't know. But yeah. Forgot what I was going to say there. I'm tired, guys. I'm honestly tired. But it's okay. I've just been super, super busy. Oh yeah. So relationships are hard, and I just if being in the relationship makes my life stay the same or makes it easier, that is ideal. But if the relationship makes my life more difficult, if I feel more overwhelmed, if I feel more stressed out, then that's not good. That's not a good relationship for me to be in, I don't think. I need someone who really just kind of matches my energy. And I know like some people might think that I'm like too picky, or that like, oh, you're gonna be single forever if you want everything to be so perfect. And it's not that I want things to be perfect, because I don't think any relationship is ever gonna be perfect no matter what. But I just think that like at this phase of my life, at least, I need someone who's really just on the same page as me with a lot of things. And I know that's hard to ask for. But that's just, I don't know, that's where I'm at. And the thing is, like, and guys have told me this, and I don't know, I'm different. I'm not like everyone. I'm not for everyone. I'm not. So stop trying to make me. I really don't believe that if you want to do something really great and really achieve at a high level, I don't think that you can have balance like a lot of people do in life. I think balance is a myth. Life balance is a myth. If you want to be great. So that's just my belief. And I know that you're going to sit there and a lot of you are going to disagree with me on that and say, oh, no, that's not true. And if it's worked for you, that's great. But it doesn't work for most people. If they want to be great, if they want to, I'm talking like achieving things at a high level, like doing things that most people don't get to do. You know, in order to do things that most people don't get to do, you have to be willing to do things that most people aren't willing to do, in my opinion. That's just how it works. You know, you have to do hard things. You have to do difficult things. And you have to do the right difficult things. It's not even just hard work. Like, hard work itself isn't even a guarantee that you're going to be successful. You have to work hard on the right things and for the right people and connect with the right people. So yeah, I think that's the biggest thing for me. It's just, that's my personal belief, at least at this phase of my life right now, is that I don't think balance is important to me right now. You know, that's great that you want to, you know, go hang out with your friends every weekend and whatever, you know, the thing, like, I don't know, everybody has their own thing they do. It seems like everybody has like the same hobbies now. Like, everybody just, I don't know. I just don't see, I don't know. I used to like socializing and doing stuff like that, but now I just want to work. Like, I really just want to work. And I want to work on things that I love. That's the difference. I don't want to just work to work. That's not fun. But I like working on things that are important to me and that I'm passionate about. Like MMA. And like, I'm going to start training MMA soon, which I'm really excited about. I'm starting the first week of September. I'm going to start training boxing again, and then eventually, kickboxing, and then jiu-jitsu, wrestling. So I'm excited to, you know, start a new journey with my MMA training. Like, I started it before, like I was kind of getting at earlier. And then I had to, you know, stop after like a year and a half because I opened my agency and I had no time. But, I don't know. I think that, yeah, I feel like a lot of guys want someone who either, you know, just wants to stay at home, which, I don't know, staying at home sounds pretty nice. Just saying. I mean, I still want to work, but I just want to stay home, you know. But I only, like, if I was a stay-at-home mom, like, I would still want to work, but I would want to work on, like, things that I love. Like, I wouldn't want to work, like, you know, for Wells Fargo if I, you know, like, no, thank you. But, I mean, and that's the goal anyways. My goal, I don't want to work a job for the rest of my life. Are you kidding me? No way. Am I willing to work a job for the next 5 to 10 years? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's totally fine. But yeah, I mean, if I were to have kids one day, which I don't know if I want to do, I have no idea. I think it sounds like a cool thing to do, but I'm also like really focused on my career right now, and just, you know, I feel like I kind of have to be. I feel like I owe it to my future self and my future potential family to work my butt off right now, because nobody's going to show up at my door and take care of me. You know, that's not going to happen. So I have to take care of myself, and I have to figure out, you know, how to make it in life. And that's what I'm doing. Chasing my dreams, chasing my passions, and going all in. So I kind of need to date someone that's also in that same mindset. You know, I feel like, is that wrong of me? I don't think so. I know I'm not going to find a lot of people that are like that, but I think it's important, because how are we going to go all in on the relationship if one of us is going all in on our life and the other one isn't, you know? It's just hard for me to wrap my brain around. And it's like, you know, on Saturday night, like, I'm watching UFC. Unless there's not UFC on, which is very rare. Especially right now, I think there's going to be UFC every Saturday for like the next month or so. But I'm watching UFC every Saturday, and that's not going to change, because this is what I've decided I want to do, like, for my career. And I think that, I don't know, I think that it'll be a really cool thing, and I think I'm going to be really good at it. So I think I should, go for it. Even if it takes 5-10 years, that's fine. I'm fine with that. If I know that in 10 years I get to do what I love, I think it's worth it to start now and put the reps in. I think it's worth it. Even if it takes 10 years, doesn't matter. I just think it's a worthwhile pursuit for me. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep doing my MMA podcast, keep doing these, collabs with MMA. Like I've been jumping into some pretty sweet opportunities with MMA. So, I'm really enjoying it. And I don't know. I almost feel like I kind of need someone who maybe they're just as into MMA as I am, or maybe at least half as into it as I am. I don't know. I feel like it's weird, and I don't like saying this, but I just think it's kind of hard for me to date someone who isn't into MMA, because that's like literally what consumes most of my free time. So I don't know. I feel weird saying that, and I don't really want to date someone like in MMA either. So it's like I don't know. I don't know what to do, man. This is why I don't like dating. It gives me anxiety, dude. It gives me anxiety. And I wasn't even dating. Like, I just met someone, and then I was like, oh, I like this person. And, and he's a good guy, like, no, like I said, no complaints. Just definitely not on the same wavelength there. Definitely not. And there's more to it than that. I just don't want to get into it. But I think that whoever I end up dating, whether it be this year, next year, God, the way things are going, maybe even the year after. I don't want to be single forever, guys. Trust me. But the thing is, when you have such really big goals that you want to achieve, and you're like really dead set on achieving those goals, it's just hard for you to wrap your brain around letting someone in your life that's going to potentially distract you, or, try to stop you from doing it. And that was kind of what I was afraid of in this situation. Just based on some things, some comments that were made, and just, little things that I pick up on. I'm very intuitive. I can read people very well. So I know when they're lying. I know when they're telling the truth. I know when they're being direct. I know when they're beating around the bush. I'm very good at reading people. I've been doing sales and customer service for over 10 years. So I think I know. I think I know what's going through your brain, sir. It's like, dude, come on. Like, it's so, and I'm always right when I like have a feeling about something. I'm always freaking right, dude. At least I've gotten a lot better at that in the last year or so. I used to be really dumb, like really, really dumb. And now I'm pretty freaking smart, just saying. It's really hard to pull the wool over my eyes at this point. It used to be like a lot different. I used to just believe everything. I was pretty dumb. Now, after you go through things and you get lied to, then you realize, And it's almost like not even bad intentions. Like, I think a lot of guys lie to me because they really like spending time with me. They want to hang out with me or whatever. So I don't think their intentions are bad, but I still think, that it's better to just be authentic and just be direct. I'm a very direct person, like in my communication. Sometimes people take that as aggressive. Okay. I'm just very direct. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I am not going to beat around the bush. Now I will on occasion, depending on the situation, depending on the person. But for the most part, very straightforward, very direct, like with my communication. And I'm kind of a more serious person, I guess. Like, I don't play. But I'm also very goofy and silly and fun. So it's like, it depends on the situation. But when it comes to work, like, I take work very seriously. like my works of passion, I guess you could say. I take them very seriously. I take myself very seriously. And you know what's so annoying is like every guy now, like every guy is just like, I just want a girl that doesn't take herself so seriously. Okay. What does that even mean, dude? Oh, just don't take yourself so seriously. Why are you always so serious? I'm not always serious. I'm really not. But I do take myself seriously and I take my life seriously, and I think everybody should. Just saying. I don't know. I'm like, dude, I can't just dumb myself down for people. I'm sorry if I'm too much for you. Sorry I talk a lot. I don't know what to tell you. Like, deal with it, or just like figure out a way to tune it out. But here's kind of what I was saying earlier. So if I'm in a relationship, and this just popped into my head because my ADHD brain is going crazy. What was I? Guys, I lost my freaking train of thought again. Oh, okay. If I was in a relationship and it's Saturday night, or, you know, whatever. Yeah, it's Saturday night. That's probably the only night of the week that really matters to me. In a relationship, like spending time together. It's just really important for me. Like Saturday night, if I'm in a relationship, like I want to be with the person. Not necessarily like going on a date or hanging out, like just being present. Whether that's watching UFC, which to me is like I'm taking notes, like I'm paying attention. I'm not just messing around when I watch UFC. So if it's that and like the person I'm with is actually supportive of that and we're like breaking down the fights together, like that's ideal. Like that's husband right there. Husband. If you want to break down fights with me, slide in my DMs. I'm just joking. I'm joking, guys. Don't do it. I'm overwhelmed right now. Give me like a couple months maybe. But yeah, like I feel like that's like ideal for me. Yeah, that's it. That's what I want. You know what? I'm saying it. That's what I want. I want to date a guy who wants to watch UFC with me every Saturday and enjoys it. And we're like paying attention to all the, like we're glued to the TV, like breaking down the fights and like talking about the different fighters and whatever. Yeah, love that. Love that. And then, you know, maybe Sunday morning we like have breakfast together, have a cup of coffee, and then we go our separate ways. I don't know. That sounds like a pretty good weekend to me. And then during the week, you know, we're working, we're focused. But I just don't have a lot of time to like go to the movies or go, you know, to hang out with you and your friends. And I don't know. I'm sorry. I just don't. That's not my vibe right now. Like I like to do that stuff once in a while, but it's like every weekend or every other weekend. It's like, no, that's too much. And I like going on dates. Trust me, I do. But it's like, I don't like going on dates like all the time. I used to really like going on dates. This is something that I have actually changed over time. And I think it's because I'm more, well, first of all, I'm off my ADD medication. I don't drink alcohol anymore. And also I am a lot more disciplined now and I'm a lot more focused right now, on my career. So, and I'm like entering a new chapter in my life. So I'm really like trying to get efficient, trying to get like, yeah, I don't know. Just kind of like trying to think of the word. Optimizing my life. That's what I'm doing. So, yeah. I just need somebody who's kind of willing to jump in with me, and they don't have to be doing the same thing I'm doing, but it's like if we're not hanging out on a Saturday night, I would hope that it's because we're both working or one of us is working on something. You know? Like if we're not hanging out on a Saturday night because you're like hanging out with the guys or you're watching the game or something like that, I don't know. I don't know. I just don't really like that. It's just like if you're working on something, then it's like, yeah, okay, cool. But I don't know. I don't know why it bothers me. I feel like that wouldn't bother most people. But for me, it just does. I think it's just because, like, during the week, I don't really need to hang out with my significant other, partner, whatever you want to call it. I don't really need anything during the week. Like, the weekend is when I want to have, like, a little bit of, like, quality time, whether it be, like, watching UFC or just whatever it is. That I feel like is important to me. Okay, I've been ranting about my dating life and random stuff for a while now. So, yeah, but like speaking of what I was kind of talking about, like hobbies, life balance, like I do really think life balance is a myth. And I think that it's good to have hobbies, you know, especially if you're in a phase of your life where, you know, you're kind of settled, you're established in your career, whatever it is. And maybe you do have some time, you know, whatever. But I think when you're doing like what I'm doing right now, and you're kind of just going all in on your passions and chasing your dreams, yeah, balance is kind of hard. You kind of have to choose. And right now I'm choosing to chase my dreams. I don't know. I think it's a little crazy, but I've always wondered, like, what if I just go for it, you know? I feel like why not? Why not just go for it? And then, you know, if in a year or two I'm not where I want to be, then maybe I think about it again then. But I don't know. I think it's good to be patient too, like not rush your progress and not rush your goals. I mean, you want to have a sense of urgency, but you definitely want to be patient too. But yeah, like I don't watch TV shows. I'll watch TV, have it on in the background like while I'm doing stuff, but I don't sit and watch stuff. Like I watch podcasts, mostly MMA podcasts. I watch MMA. I'm freaking dedicated, and I think that's what makes it really hard for me to date, because there's not a lot of other women that are like into MMA like I am, so it's just kind of a unique thing. Like a lot of guys just don't really get it. So yeah, I don't know. Also, like, you have to like my dog. If you don't like my dog, what, you know, it's not going to work. You have to like my dog. You have to like dogs in general, you know. I feel like I don't understand why people don't like dogs. Anyways, I'm going to start answering some questions, because I got some questions from the Instagrams and Facebooks. So let me pull these up. I'm sleepy. Okay, I've got an MMA question. Do you think Lewis should have re-signed with the UFC or took the $2 million to fight Ngannou? I'm gonna say I think he should have taken the 2 mil and gone to PFL, because he could always go back to UFC, I guess. Or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe Dana would be petty and not let him back in the UFC if he goes to PFL. But then he could go to like bare knuckle or something. Could you imagine Derek Lewis in bare knuckle? Oh my God. Take my money. So yeah, I think here's the thing. He signed an 8-fight contract with the UFC. 8 fights? What? He's not a spring chicken. Like, I don't know. I like Derek Lewis in the UFC. I'm glad. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know the answer to that. But I'm going to say I'd rather him take the PFL because I think PFL is like about to really blow up. Just saying. And that was from Munch MMA on Instagram. So thank you. Thank you for the support. Okay, music. Well, I talk about music on here all the time. So I don't know what you want me to talk. I don't know what kind of music you want me to talk about, or you just want to know what kind of music I like. Here, I'll just tell you what's on my Spotify on repeat. I did this like a month ago. I'll do it again. It's probably the same stuff, but we'll just go through it again. Acid Raindrops is the first one. Of course, that was probably on the last one too. Acid Raindrops by People Under the Stairs. That's like, I listen to that every day. Stuck in the Middle with You by Steelers Wheel. Yeah, that's another one of my jams. I like to listen to that one in the car. Puts me in a good mood. 93 Till Infinity by Souls of Mischief. Yeah, that's a banger. I listen to that every single day. Puts me in such a good mood. Aerials by System of a Down. Yeah. Yeah, I like that song. 46 and 2 by Tool. Yeah, that's a banger. The Coyote and the Cowboy by Coulter Wall. Yeah. Guys, Coulter Wall's new album is so good. Oh my God. It's so good. It just feels like you're watching like an old Western movie almost. Like when you listen to Coulter Wall's new album, like it's just such good vibes. Like such Western vibes. I love it. Oh my God, it's amazing. He sounds like he's from like the 1960s like era of country. It's crazy. And then White House Road by Tyler Childers. Of course, that's on repeat. Of course. Grown Up by Danny Brown. Passing Me By the Far Side. Peace Frog by The Doors. That's a good song. Long Cool Woman by The Hollies. Run Through the Jungle by Creedence Clearwater Revival. Yeah, I listen to Creedence Clearwater Revival every single day. Flute Loop by Beastie Boys. Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of stuff on here. Like random. It's mostly like 90s hip hop. And I almost just played a song. Oopsies. It's almost just like 90s hip hop, country. Like, but more like bluegrass country. I don't listen to like, what's that song? Morgan Wallen. No, thank you. Oh God. Or I don't listen to like Luke Bryan or anything. No, not a fan of that. That's not the kind of country I like. I like Chris Stapleton. Brent Cobb. That's another one I like. Cody Johnson. I like Cody Johnson. I really like Cody Johnson. I think he has one of the best voices in country music. He reminds me of like 90s country. I think that's why I like Cody Johnson, because it does give me that 90s country vibe, and I really like it. Anyways. Let's see what other questions I have. I know I have another one. Where'd it go? Oh, here we go. What do you look for in a man? Top 3. Of course somebody would ask me this. That's hilarious. Oh God. Well, I would say the number one thing would be, I'm going to move, guys. I'm going to get closer. We're going to get nice and close here. Because we're talking about boys. I'm so dumb. Okay, anyways. So what do I look for in a man? Top 3. Like top 3 things, I guess. Okay. So the first thing that I look for is I like a man that is a high achiever. That is the number one thing that I am attracted to. Number one. High achiever. Doesn't matter what it is. If it's something that I'm also kind of into, that definitely helps. But it doesn't have to be. It could be like your job, your career, you know, if you're I don't know. I'm trying to think of something. You know, if you're a doctor, maybe. I don't think I've ever even dated a doctor, so this is just ridiculous that I'm even saying this. Like I'm out here dating doctors. Like, no. No. But if let's say you're a doctor, okay, whatever. I'm going to use the example. And you're like the top doctor at your hospital, like that is what I'm attracted to. Don't care how much money you make necessarily. I mean, at least make enough to like support yourself. But yeah, that's kind of like the vibe I like, you know. Yeah, I really do feel like I get along better with people that are business owners or entrepreneurs that like have something. If they have a job, they also have something else going on the side, or they're just like self-employed, or they're a business owner, like, or they're a CEO. Like that type of person, I think, is what, not necessarily because of the money either, because like a lot of people don't realize like business owners don't necessarily make more money. Like a lot of them make less and then if they were to just get a job. Like you have so much more expenses when you own a business. Like people don't understand that. So it's not necessarily like the money that I'm attracted to. It's more of just like the success, the ambition, the drive, because that is also what I am bringing to the table. So I feel like I just want that reciprocated. Now me a couple years ago might be like, okay, you know, that's not really the phase of life I'm in right now. So I'm not necessarily looking for, a guy doesn't have to be like that, you know, but now at this point in my life, I'm pretty sure of what I want in life. It took me a while, you know, to figure it out, but I am sure of what I want in life now. And I'm sure of what I want in a partner. So while it may seem a little picky or ridiculous, I don't know. I don't really care. I don't want to settle. I think the person that you choose to spend your life with is the most important decision that you make in your life. So sorry if I take it a little seriously. What are you going to do? But yeah, I think just being a high achiever, always growing, learning, wanting to get better, strong work ethic, that kind of thing. It all kind of goes hand in hand. But yeah, high achiever. That's the number one thing. And then the second thing would probably be discipline, which kind of ties into high achiever, because you can be a high achiever without discipline. Sorry guys, it's late. It's nighttime. I'm yawning. I'm sorry. But discipline. So I need whoever I'm with to be a very disciplined person, because I feel like I'm pretty disciplined. I mean, I'm not like David Goggins. Like people, like they think I'm crazy, and it's like, yeah, okay, I'm a little bit crazy, but I feel like that there are also people out there that are crazy like me in the same ways that I'm crazy. So I'm just waiting to find them. Okay. And I don't know. I'm just manifesting this for myself. I am manifesting myself, my ideal man. And it doesn't need to happen right now, because like I said, I'm like pretty busy right now. So I don't know. Maybe not the best timing. But whatever happens, happens. You know, you never know. But yeah, I'm not in a hurry to like get into a relationship either. I really am not codependent at all. Like I know a lot of like women say this stuff like, I don't need a man. And it's like, I want a man, but do I need a man to be happy? And I don't think you should be like that, because then you're relying on somebody else for your own happiness. So it's like, you're starting off already on the wrong foot if you're like codependent like that. I think being codependent is one of the biggest weaknesses of people in general. And I used to be a little bit codependent, and I learned how not to be. And I think it's a good trait to have. I really do. I think you'll attract more somebody that's more compatible with you if you have that mentality, because I think compatibility is far more important than chemistry. Chemistry is important and attraction is important, but I think that compatibility, when you're talking about like a life partner, that's the most important thing for sure. Like if you're not compatible with this person, can't spend every waking moment with this person, then yeah, you're kind of in trouble. So that's just, I've observed a lot of relationships. I've observed a lot of marriages, and I just want to be in a good one. So sorry. Yeah, so discipline would be the second thing, like we're not, if you wake up early and you do an ice bath and you make breakfast and then you go to work and then you come home and you go to the gym and then you're working on whatever, like, that's the kind of discipline I'm talking about, somebody who just not like spending their entire weekend, like having fun, like you're having fun working on your business or your goals or something you're passionate about. That is the kind of busy, that I want, at this point in my life. Like I said, I think balance is overrated, when you're trying to achieve something big. So yeah, I kind of want that discipline. That's the point I'm at in my life. And you don't have to do ice baths, but I just think that'd be really cool if you did. Because then you'd be like, oh, she's not crazy. This is actually really nice. Dude, it feels so good getting the ice bath. I don't care what you guys say. Oh, well, it negatively impacts hypertrophy. Yeah, right, dude. I know it does. If you do it within 4 to 6 hours after hypertrophy training, I just try not to do an ice bath the day that I train. And right now I'm only training like 2-3 days a week. But when I start training boxing again, I'm probably going to do an ice bath after boxing. Because that's not hypertrophy training. That's just basically endurance, if anything. Which I don't think is a big deal to do ice bath after endurance training. I think that's fine. I don't really see a problem with it, but whatever. I'm not a scientist though, so I don't know. Maybe don't trust me. So yeah, discipline is the second thing. And then number 3, I would say is, I want the person to be, I guess, like a dreamer, creative, a visionary. That to me is very attractive. Yeah. I think that's important. And not like, oh, I dream of having a wife and kids one day. Yeah, that should just be a given. That shouldn't be a goal. That should just be like, oh yeah, eventually I'm going to get married and have kids. Yeah. Yeah, that's just a byproduct of everything we're doing now, and finding the right person. I think focusing on the person first is more important than focusing on the end result, It's like, let's make sure we have the right person before we start talking about marriage and kids and stuff. That's a little, let's figure out if we're compatible first. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. I think it's really important for me to just be with someone who has the same mindset as me. I think that's really important. And here's the thing, like, I want to attract what I am giving off, It's like, if I wasn't, working my butt off, if I wasn't disciplined, if I, didn't eat healthy, if I didn't, work out, if I didn't do any of these things, I wouldn't ask for that in a partner. I'm asking for the things that I also do. So it's like, I just want, I'm not being like overly picky. I just want what I'm bringing to the table reciprocated to me, I guess, in a way. In different ways, slightly. Like, I'm not really organized. I don't know how to fix things. So having somebody who's like a little bit more organized, knows how to fix things, that would be nice. Somebody that compliments me in certain ways. But, yeah, ultimately, I do really think I want to be with someone who has the same mindset as me. And I always thought, like, maybe that doesn't work because it's like, oh, we're too similar. But at this point, I've kind of realized that that is what I actually want, is someone who does have the same mindset. Because I feel like if not, it's either there's going to be problems in the relationship or the person is going to slow me down and distract me, which I don't want that either. So yeah, I really would like to be with someone who wants to work as hard as I do. They're a visionary. They're a dreamer. That's what I want. So number 1 was a high achiever. Number 2 was disciplined. And then number 3 was a visionary. That's my top 3. And then there's little things like physically attractive. Yeah, of course. But I think that even is a little overrated. Like, you don't need to be... You need to be attractive, but it's not as big of a deal. It's I need to be attracted to you. I think that's the bigger thing. You don't need to be the most attractive guy in the world, though. You know, like, somebody that I find very attractive is Theo Von. Is Theo Von what you would imagine in your head when I say, think of an attractive guy? No. You know, if he wasn't Theo Von, he probably, you know, wouldn't be nearly as attractive to me. But it's his personality, his just way of talking, like his sense of humor, like that kind of thing. And then also just like his whole story, his background. And like, I don't know, I think he's cute. What? I think Theo Von is a good looking guy. Even with the mullet. I think he was better looking without the mullet, but I like the mullet, whatever. But you know what I'm saying here, guys. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you don't have to be Ryan Gosling, you know? Like, you can be Theo Von. That's fine. Everybody knows I'm a Theo Von simp. Whatever. Leave me alone, okay? So I have a crush on Theo Von. Sue me. Hey, at least I don't have a crush on Matt Rife like everybody else. You know, at least I don't have a crush on... Who does everybody have a crush on? I don't even know. I honestly don't even... Is Harry Styles still... Dude, I'm so clueless with celebrities right now. Unless they're MMA fighters or comedians, I have no idea who they are. I'll be honest. No idea. Anyways. But yeah, so like, you could be Theo Von, and that's fine. A sense of humor is definitely important to me. That's like a little thing that's important to me. It's not like a deal breaker, but it's definitely really important for you to have like a really good sense of humor. Or maybe even just like a slightly different sense of humor than me, is okay. As long as you have a sense of humor. Like, I don't want somebody who's just gonna be like, what? All the time when I'm like being sarcastic or like making a joke. It's like, oh, you don't have to explain this to you, and like, you don't get it. And it's like, I just want to be myself and be my silly, goofy self, whatever. Anyways, yeah, so sense of humor, that's important. Attraction, yeah, I have to be attracted to you. Sorry. If I'm not attracted to you, it's not gonna happen. I'm sorry. And like I said, you don't have to be Ryan Gosling. You don't have to, whatever. You can be Theo Von. But there has to be an attraction. And then, in addition to that, I would say MMA fan. Yeah, you got to be an MMA fan, I think. I've thought about this a lot. Like, this past weekend, I've been thinking about it, and I'm like, is that part of my criteria now? I think it is. But it shouldn't be that hard to find. A lot of guys are into MMA. Like, I'm surprised more aren't. Whatever. You have to be an MMA fan. I'm sorry. Sue me. Yeah, and that's something that I'm willing to be flexible on. a little bit, but it's ideal. That would be ideal. And then you have to like dogs. You have to like my dog. Sorry, she's kind of a pain in the butt, but she's my dog and I'm not going to get rid of her for you. Like, who do you think you are, buddy? Think I'm going to get rid of my dog for you? Are you joking? No. Absolutely not. I don't know. Like, if you don't like dogs, maybe don't date somebody with a dog. Maybe. I don't. Yeah. Why? Yeah, my dog is awesome, by the way. She's a little crazy. Not gonna lie, she's a little crazy. She has a problem with socializing with other dogs. She's great with people, but she has problems with socializing with other dogs, unfortunately. So I'm working through that with her right now. But other than that, she's a great dog. She's great. She's a snuggle bug. Once she gets used to a person, then she really like calms down and she's like really, really sweet and like calm and chill. It's just when she first meets someone, she gets so excited when she meets them, so she just wants to play. But she gets out of that after like a couple months. Like when she gets used to someone, it just takes her a while. She's still young. She's only a year old, so she's a Doberman Pit Bull mix. Like she's still in her puppy phase almost. Unfortunately. So, but she's a great dog overall. I mean, she's really sweet and she's like, she'll snuggle with me. Like if I'm sick, she'll snuggle with me all day, like, and just lay in bed with, she's the best. Like she knows when I'm not feeling well. Like she's so sweet. I love that dog. So yeah, I am not getting rid of my dog. She's my baby. She's been there for me. Like when I was, the lowest of lows, and yeah, she's been a great dog for me. So no. And also, you don't just get rid of dogs. Like, anyways, yeah, so you must love dogs. I feel like I need someone who's like also into fitness too, because, and you don't have to be like a personal trainer. You don't have to be like obsessed with it, but at least like, work out and understand the importance of fitness and understand the importance of health and longevity, and just like take care of yourself, yeah, I'd rather date someone that's like natty though. Like if you're like a bodybuilder and you're like on a bunch of steroids and trend and stuff, like I don't know, that is kind of like a little much for me. I feel like not that I wouldn't date a bodybuilder, but I just think that if you're on a bunch of stuff, that's might be a little much for me, because I'm just not gonna like, yeah, I don't know. I just know how that stuff affects people. And actually, that was something I wanted to talk about today, because John Bravo posted in his story. I'm going to read it because I agree 100% with what he was saying. And by the way, I'm trying to convince John Bravo to cover influencer boxing with me, because I really want to cover like the Jake Paul fights and like follow like all these like different YouTuber boxer, like Bryce Hall. It seems like there's a lot going on, so I kind of want to like have someone else talk to me about it. Whether it be a podcast or a live stream or whatever. I wanted to have John Bravo on to like talk about it, because like he's been in the YouTube game for a while, and he's really, really smart when it comes to YouTube. He's given me a lot of like great advice with YouTube. And honestly, like one of my biggest influences, like with YouTube, like I've been really influenced just by John's editing style so much, and just like little things that he does that make a big difference in his videos are so important. And I think that's one thing that I really appreciate about John. And I think it's because I just know how hard he works on his videos, and I know all the effort that he puts into it. And so I guess that's why I appreciate it more, and I'm so influenced by it and inspired by it. because you can just tell like how much effort is put in like little small details, and it doesn't matter what story he's covering or if he's doing a prank video or whatever it is, like it's a John Bravo video as soon as it starts. Like you just know. Like it's his style. It's so unique. He has one of the most unique styles of like any YouTuber, journalist, or anything like I've ever seen. So that's why I love watching his videos, because I get inspired every single time I watch one. No matter, it doesn't even matter what the content is. And like some of the content is kind of stupid. He's gonna yell at me for this, but some of the content is just like, why are we talking about Natty or not Natty, or Alex Eubank is on SARMs, or like I don't know, some of the bodybuilding drama. I'm just like, what is this stuff? So I just laugh at it, but he, I don't want to diss on it, because I know like he works his butt off on those videos, and he's in the bodybuilding world, so like that's kind of what he covers. That's the community that he's been in. So I'm not gonna hate on it, but I just think it's funny, like the YouTube drama between him and like Greg Doucette and. Oh God, it's funny. But anyways, yeah, so I don't know, maybe one day I'll be able to convince him. He hasn't given me a for sure answer yet. I keep asking him if he wants to collab on covering MMA. Not even really covering MMA, but covering the influencer boxing. I think that would be really cool, because he's like in the know with so much about YouTube and YouTubers, and I'm in the know with MMA, so I think it would be a really cool collab. So maybe one day we'll make it happen. It probably won't be anytime soon, because he's probably working on like 10,000 other things right now, like as usual. And that's kind of what I do too. I don't even really have time to do it right now, but I know it's going to take me like probably at least a year to convince him to do it. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to start now and see if he'll do it. Oh my God. Come on, John. Let's do it. I really want to collab with you on this. I think it'd be fun. But anyways, yeah, so that I do want to start covering, and I'm going to start covering it probably on this podcast. I'll probably just cover it on the solo episodes if I cover influencer boxing. I mean, I'm covering it on my MMA podcast, but I'll talk about it probably more on here. I don't know. I haven't really decided yet. We'll see. But yeah, I'm going all in on everything and trying to do some cool collabs. That collab with Corey Cuppy was really fun. Doing that podcast with him, that was really fun. And yeah, he's a character. He's definitely a really entertaining guy, both on the mic and in the octagon. So I'm excited to see his fight. It's gonna be on August 23rd. So watch PFL August 23rd. I think the prelims start at 6:30. So tune into that. I'm trying to think of something else coming up. Obviously, Saturday's UFC 292, Sean O'Malley versus Aljamain Sterling. I don't think there's any like YouTuber boxer fights coming up that I know of, but I don't know. Maybe I'm forgetting something. Yeah, and then August 23rd. Well, August 18th is PFL playoffs, and then August 23rd is also PFL playoffs. So Friday and Wednesday, not this week, but the following. So, yep. Oh, wait, no. Is it this Friday? Yeah, actually it is. August 18th. Oh. Well, I will be covering that on my MMA podcast. So, if you want to hear about PFL, that's where you'll hear about it. But yeah, I don't know. I really like the idea of covering influencer YouTuber boxing just because it's so big right now. And I think it's just only going to get bigger. And I do think it is good for the sport. Also, today we lost Zuckerberg versus Musk, it looks like. I don't think that fight's going to happen. Or maybe they're just talking trash. I don't know. Here's what Zuck said on Threads, which I guess he's still trying to make Threads a thing. I think we can all agree Elon isn't serious and it's time to move on. I offered a real date. Dana White offered to make this a legit competition for charity. Elon won't confirm a date, then says he needs surgery and now has to do a practice round in my backyard instead. If Elon ever gets serious about a real date and official event, He knows how to reach me. Otherwise, time to move on. I'm going to focus on competing with people who take the sport seriously. Ooh. Okay, so then, but here's the thing. I saw something that Elon Musk said in response, but I need to fact check it. Somebody sent it to me, and I'm going to fact check it right now to see if he actually posted it, or unless he deleted it. Oh, shoot. I don't think it's on here anymore. Yeah, I don't know. I thought Elon Musk said something in response. But maybe not. Because I don't see it on X. Why did they change the name of Twitter to X? What does that even mean? I mean, I know what it means, but still, it's like... It just doesn't sound right. In my opinion. Is there anything else to talk about? I don't think so. I think I answered all the questions that I got, unless there's another one in here. Yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to update you guys on life and just kind of vent about whatever's going on in my life, because that's what I do on here. This is where I vent. What's the latest episode of Joe Rogan? I need to keep up with Rogan a little bit more, because there have actually been some really, really cool episodes. Python Cowboy. What? Mike Python Cowboy Kimmel is a licensed wildlife trapper of invasive and dangerous species. What? That's the latest guest on Rogan. Interesting. Tim Dillon. I already started that episode. Of course, I love Tim Dillon. Post Malone. 4 hours and 41 minutes. That's a long episode. I will probably watch that one, though. Fight Companion with Eddie Bravo, Brian Callen, and Brendan Schaub. So the old Fight Companion crew is back together, I see. Interesting. I'll have to watch that one. I'm not going to watch the whole thing, but I'll watch, maybe when they watch the main event, I'll watch that. Because that was Logan Paul versus Nate Diaz. I think they did a Fight Companion for that card. I don't know if they watched UFC, but whatever. Brian Callen. Patrick Bet-David. I think they were talking about Sam Tripoli on the Brian Callen episode. Sam Tripoli is such a G. An OG. Patrick Bet-David. I really want to watch that episode. Jared Cannonier. I started that one. Haven't finished it. Zach Bryan. I finally finished the Zach Bryan episode. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And dude, I can't believe he's dating Brianna Chicken Fry now from Barstool. That just kind of happened randomly. Like he just broke up with his girlfriend and now he's dating her. I don't know. Apparently she's getting like a lot of hate right now, which who cares? Like if they want to date, just let them date. Who cares? But anyways, yeah, okay. So those are some recent episodes that I need to catch up on. Yeah, I need to catch up on some YouTube too. That's all I watch. I watch podcasts and YouTube and like that's it. Because I feel like I'm learning something. I feel like I'm like, I don't know. Or if it's like a comedy podcast, like it's making me laugh. I don't know. Oh, I know what I wanted to talk about. Speaking of influencer boxing, I wanted to talk, and this is what I wanted to talk about with John Bravo. So John, if you're still watching this, listening to this, I want to talk about the Demetrius Johnson versus Bradley Martin fight. Because I think it's absolutely ridiculous that they're even going to go through with this, if they are. Because we just lost, Zuckerberg versus Musk, so it's like, it's hard to believe that any of these fights are actually going to happen. I don't know. But I think it would be fun to talk about that fight with John Bravo. But yeah, I don't know why Bradley Martin is just like calling out every fighter. Like he was telling Devin Haney, who's a elite professional boxer, that he could beat him in a street fight. And then he was saying he could beat Demetrius Johnson. He was saying, who else was he talking about? Like Nate Diaz. He had Nate Diaz on his podcast, and he was saying like he could beat him in street fight. It's like, dude, why? I'm 260, bro. I'm 260, bro. Like, oh my god. Just shut up. Just shut it. And I actually, you know, I don't hate Bradley Martin. You know, I like some of his content. Some of it's kind of cringe, but it's like, why are people talking trash to fighters? Like, just stop. Cringe. Like, they're professional fighters. Like, just don't even, yeah. Some people just need to get humbled, I think. I think they just need to get humbled. Like, when you've, like, trained with fighters, you kind of get it. You're like, oh, yeah, these people would kill me. You know? Like, professional fighters. Like, people are so dumb. Just because you're big and you have muscles doesn't mean that you can fight. That's what some people don't understand. You can be big with, you know, big muscles and know how to fight, but it doesn't mean you know how to fight or that you could win a fight. Yeah. I don't know. Some people don't use their brain before they open their mouth. So that's what's going on there. I am so tired. I need to go to bed. I just realized what time it is. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm going to end this episode, but thank you guys for listening to me rant. As usual on my solo episodes. This is what we do here. This is what we are all about. Just ranting and talking about life. So, next episode will be a guest episode. It will be a fighter. So let's freaking go, guys. I'm having some really fun people on. I've got some really cool guests in the works. So stay tuned. You know, you probably enjoyed my last couple episodes. I had Sam Primo, who he's awesome. He's super inspiring. I had Corey Cuppy, also really inspiring guy. So, yeah. And, you know, I've got, like I said, I've got more in the works. So I'm excited to showcase, you know, different people who come from different backgrounds, different careers, different sports. Yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm so excited for just like what the future holds for my podcast, for my career, for everything. So I'm really excited. And it's really because all of you have supported me, you know, along the way. So thank you so much for that and being patient with me and yeah, just being supportive and listening and watching and whatever, sharing. I really appreciate all of that. Yeah, so I am going to get to bed because I'm exhausted and I want to have a midnight snack before I go to bed. So thank you guys for listening, watching, consuming, whatever. Make sure to like and subscribe. And I appreciate you. And I will be back at you next week with a guest episode. So stay tuned. All right. I will see you guys next week. Bye.